Welcome back to another episode of Let's Not Argue with myself and the owner of the best new vegan restaurant in Philadelphia, voted by you. Go
yes,
Vegan
sir.
Philly.
There we go.
Mr. Sean Thomas. What's going on, brother?
Everything's amazing right now, bro. Everything, man. We just chilling. You already know the spot, Conshohocken, PA, 401 Fayette Street in Conshohocken, PA, 19428. We're inside of the Eisenberg's Deli. We're stationed inside of the Eisenberg's Deli. Can't miss us, right on the corner, 4th and Fayette. Every Friday and Saturday. For now, we'll be adding our Wednesday and Thursday in a couple weeks.
Especially as things are starting to open up here.
Yeah, reopen. Yep.
All over the place. Really, things are starting to reopen. And people are skeptical. People are happy, and there's a lot of things going on with that. And we'll get to that in just a minute. But I want to thank you for listening to Let's Not Argue. We put this show together just for you, just so we can discuss some topics that we feel like need to be discussed in our community. And of course, you can check out all episodes of Let's Not Argue on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Deezer, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all that good stuff.
Clap it up for them boys. Clap it up for them.
I know I'm forgetting something somewhere, but wherever your podcast is sold, you can go listen to it, and this one is free. We're giving you the game for free.
For us, as long as we keep pushing, I'm saying for us, by the end of 2020, we should be in top 10 podcasts. Man, I'm just going to be humble right now. Just say top 10. I want number one. I want number one.
Oh, I would definitely want number one. I definitely want number one.
You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it going.
Shout out to all the podcasters, man. You know, earlier today I was thinking about our show and some of the other shows that I've done, and I thought about. I was like, man, I've been in this broadcasting game I'm almost 21 years. Like, it's weird for me to say that I've been a part of anything for 20-something years.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've been in this broadcasting game for I'm going on 21 years in the fall. I've been part of this podcasting game for the past 10 years. So it's just, wow, it's just been an amazing ride. And you know, some people might say, well, what has come from it? Well, you're listening to it. New Twist Radio.
You're listening.
NewTwistRadio.com and the New Twist Radio app. So, you know, it's always growth. And, and I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but, you know, we're going to get back on the topic. But for people that are looking to, you know, start their businesses and getting into business and want things to, you know, want to be on their own, don't be in a rush. All right. When you're in a rush, you're vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable, you make mistakes. All right.
Yes.
Take your time. Take your time. Learn the craft. Learn what's going on around it, and learn what you need to do. Learn and learn how to be authentic. Learn how to be authentic, because that's the only way you're really going to be successful. You got to be authentic, because when you're authentic,
wins every
absolutely.
time.
And you can, when you can be yourself, you will go out and the people that need what you have, the energy that you're giving out, will be attracted to you. They'll come to you, and your audience, your customer base, whatever the case may be, will be there.
Well, I would love to add to that, and just to add on to what you said, like you said, it's about being authentic, and I think a lot of people try too hard to find spots where they please everybody, and you're never going to please everybody with anything you say or do. You know what I'm saying? People are either going to be with it or against it. I think too many people try to toe the line and play the fence, and you know, we never get to anywhere, because you got to pick a side. You got to say something. You got to stand on it, stand firm on it. You know, you might change what you think about it, change it later. But what do you feel in this moment? How do you feel? What do you want to say right now? What do you feel? What do you want to say about what you're witnessing, what you're seeing, what you're hearing out here in the world? Say what's real. Don't just try to say what you think everybody's going to agree with, or say the safe thing, or be politically correct. Because we can touch on politically correct today too, what that actually means. But you don't get nowhere with that. We don't get down to the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Imagine your doctor, you know, like you go into the hospital and the doctor finds cancer, and you like stage 3 or stage 4, and you know, there was a politically correct way. Like, no, get down to it, doc. You know what I mean? You got 2 years to live, man. You stage 3. We got to get down. We got to rectify. We got to get in there. We got to get this cancer up out of it. We got to talk straight. Talk straight words. Don't beat around the bush. Don't try to, I got stage 3 cancer, but you're trying to make me believe that I got a sprained ankle.
Right. You're absolutely
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Don't sugarcoat it. You gotta be real.
Don't sugarcoat it, man. It's got to be real, man. If we want to beat this thing, you know what I'm saying? If we want to be healed, if we want the cure, if we want the plan, which is the healing, the plan, which is the cure, the plan, you know what I'm saying? You got to be real. If you don't want to be real, I don't even want to talk to nobody, man. I don't even want to talk to you, man. Talk to somebody else, man.
And you know what? Let's stay on that for a minute because you come from an industry where there's a lot of authenticity, and there's some not so much authenticness, if that's a word. And I'm talking about the music, and we've talked about the music industry, quite a few times on this show.
Yes.
How difficult is it? I mean, and you've seen people on all different levels.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to stay authentic to your message in that industry? I'm talking about the music industry, mainly hip hop, because I can't really speak from an R&B standpoint because like I listen, but as an R&B singer, most of the time you're singing about love, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
love and sex. And that's pretty much it. I mean, everybody
has
love and sex somehow, some way.
Even with that, it's like if I'm a singer and I sing good, I could sing about love and never been in love before.
Right.
I could sing about breakup and I never even had a relationship before.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could sing about how great my sex is and my sex can be horrible. You know what I'm saying?
But that wouldn't be authentic, though.
It wouldn't be authentic. You know what I'm saying? But
you
still,
can make a great song out of it.
You can still make a great song about it. You know what I mean? You still make a great song about it. I think the hard part, that I think you're trying to get to, the hardest part in being a rapper, just in that field, is, I can be the realest guy. Everything I'm saying can be, authentic, can be about my life. But the industry, the machine, could take anyone and paint them that way and make everyone believe in a lie. Because the more money you put behind a lie, it'll become the truth.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't have no dollars and nobody to help push my truths out to the world, then them lies is going to take precedence. Them lies is going to take over. You know what I'm saying? The more money, it'll become the truth. I mean, that's how you got to mostly everything we think about history in this world. Everything we think about anything is because someone had the resources, the power, and the money to put behind that lie. And now that lie is embedded in our brains from kindergarten all the way up on through.
Yeah, right.
Until you get old enough to say, wait a minute, Columbus didn't discover America. People are already there.
and they still teach our kids that Columbus
and they still
discovered America.
You see where I'm going. As long as they got some money to put behind this and some power to put behind it a lot. They don't need you. They don't need me. They could take Tekashi 6ix9ine and make everybody believe that he's a gangbanger.
Or the rainbow-headed boy, right?
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, he's not a character that I care about, but since, he's in the mainstream and everybody wants to talk about the industry, the machine could take anybody and make them, you know what I'm saying? As long as they got the money behind it, that lie can become the truth. Who didn't think he was in the streets gangbanging?
Right.
I mean, you take some money and you put some real gangbangers behind him. Now he look like he the gang leader.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
When actually he was just a cash cow.
Okay. And he gonna tell on everybody when he get caught. He ain't gonna go out like gangbangers supposed to go out. Gangsters supposed to go out. No, because he wasn't. But before that, people was riding to his music and he the king and he got this whatever. Because you thought they made you think something about it. They made you think something about him. But had you known he was just weak little punk, little snitch, little rat, whatever beforehand, you wouldn't have even be able to make a song. Not one song.
And
but,
that's interesting.
What happens in this game.
And it's interesting because everything you're saying is real, right? But and I don't really, and we're not going to be talking about Tekashi all this time. But I want to talk about the thought process behind him now. So you said that they put the money behind him, it gave him this image basically of what people thought he was, and people were listening to his music. Me being a high school baseball coach, a lot of kids were listening to him and trying to and emulating some of the things he was doing. But now that he's become the quote unquote snitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would think that the career is over.
Yeah.
And it seems
well,
like
the career,
and as I'm looking from a distance, it kind of seems like he's bigger now than he was before he went in.
Oh yeah,
almost the way that in the 90s coming up, a dead rapper was more famous.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Money, man. You put money behind anything. You know what I mean? Because people are more into glitz and glamour. So he's got the money now. So he's going to have the jewelry, the clothes you want to wear. So people buying into that. And let's not forget, the biggest consumers, the most major part of the consumers of hip hop is white kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Little American, white kid. They don't know nothing about no street. They don't know nothing about no gang banging. They don't know nothing about no, you know what I'm saying? They live through us.
And there was something that you said in the last show that resounded with me. And if you want to check out last week's show and see what I'm talking about, like I said, go to Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and all that good stuff. You can check out last week's show. Something that you said to me that resounded to me, and we've said it a couple of times on the show about, I forgot who the rapper, I think it was Plies. I think you were talking about how he had a lyric in one of his songs, and he couldn't get it approved.
Yeah,
and that's been resounded with me the entire week. It was just, and the entire week, all I could think about was ownership. That's the only thing I could think about was ownership.
That's right, ownership. Because if you work for them, you know what I'm saying, then they make all the decisions on your material.
Right.
Right. So that's the thing that happened to Plies. He sent in a song where he was disrespecting white folks, and them white folks sent that song right back and say, we're going to need you to take crack, and we're going to need you to take all this out that song before we put this on the radio.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then now he's stuck looking like, well, I said, nigga, 772 times. You ain't never asked me to take that out.
At all.
Well, because, we don't respect y'all. Y'all should respect yourselves, but we don't care about y'all. You know what I mean? Well, we care about us. We don't want our little children hearing that and getting that into their heads and thinking that's who they are. You know what I'm saying? Because when they listening to the music, they not picturing themselves, they picturing us.
So, and you're absolutely right. And so I started thinking, actually, last couple of nights, I was thinking about some of the areas where we could have ownership and things could be lucrative that people are not really thinking about. Like, people don't think about having ownership in some of these areas that I was thinking about recently. And I was talking to a friend just last night. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I told him that, I would love to own an esports team, right? Because nobody, that's kind of a young business in a sense, the esports. It's still in its infancy stages, I would think, compared to other sports, professional sports leagues. But esports is a professional sport, or professional competition. They call this, but I don't consider it a sport, but it's competition. And and they have teams, and some of these teams have owners. And I'm like, wow, that could be something that I could get in on. Not that I know the industry like that, but I could get in on something like that before, a whole bunch of other people get in on it, and before it gets to the point where you got to be a multi-billionaire to even own a team.
Right.
We don't think about like things like that, like a streaming service, and what I mean, like a YouTube or something like that, where people want to go and broadcast it, like things like that. Those things, some of those things are out there owned by us, but we don't support them.
Sometimes I feel like that, we feel like we're supposed to be supervised by white people. Like, we can't make no moves without white supervision. Like, the thing is, you have to be able to sell your own culture to yourself, to your own people.
Right.
We don't even sell our culture, whatever that is. At this point, I don't even know what it is, because it's more like the thing that white people carved out for us to be. Has become, that's our culture. Not like, really it's not. It's what they set aside, the scratch that's left to be. I can't be king, I can't be God, I can't be the man. Hence why we call white the man, right? Because who's the boy? If he's the man, then who's the boy?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to be, Asians sell Asian culture to Asians, Hispanics sell Hispanic culture to Hispanics, white sell white culture to whites. We're the only people who don't sell our own stuff to our own people. Somebody else does that. Somebody else manages that department. That's not from us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you think it back. It's like, okay, that's the order of things. We're at the bottom, and we are supposed to either be the slaves or the consumers. If anybody come try to change that, you're going to be a target. And, today's Malcolm X birthday.
That's the next thing I was going to. Absolutely.
Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey. Anybody come try to change black people from either the slaves or the consumers, you're going to be targeted, man.
Absolutely.
Because that's what, in their head, I'm kidding you, white, Asian, Arab, in their head, we are that. That's what they came to this land for. They came to this land to say, oh, those people, that's our resource. That's our free labor right there. That's our free labor. Even when you travel back to Thanksgiving, how Thanksgiving started. The white people was eating wild turkeys so they wouldn't starve. And then when they ran out of wild turkeys, they started to starve to death. So they said, okay, we got to replace these wild turkeys with something. They said, oh, bring them black people over here and we'll have them hunt for us and find some other food. We'll have them cook for us. We'll have them when they got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? So in their minds, it's like, this is what you're supposed to be. And if you ain't that, something's going wrong. Hold on, what happened there? You know what I'm saying? You're just supposed to be the slave, or you just supposed to consume. You know what I mean? There's no way a people can make what they tell me we make, and we still at the bottom. And you say we make 1.4 trillion, and we'd be the 8th or 9th richest nation in the world, and it don't seem like it because we ain't got no community, we ain't got nothing, we ain't got no bank to house that money, we ain't got no schools to educate our children. You know what I'm saying? About who they are and not who Eurocentric education tell them, what they want them to be.
Exactly. So,
you know what I'm saying?
So when, and shifting gears just a little bit, but not really. So you actually went right to where I wanted to go with today being Malcolm X's birthday. The day of this recording is Malcolm X's birthday. Happy birthday to Malcolm X. Malcolm X was assassinated, Audubon Ballroom, Harlem, New York, at 39 years old. 39 years old. Understand the impact that he had on this world as a 20-something-year-old. Yeah, I think
right.
I didn't realize, like, I've heard it, but it didn't resound with me until I heard it today. And knowing that in 2 months is my 39th birthday. I'm
40, and I feel so young. I feel like I just got started living. I feel like I'm like a newborn baby. And to think that Malcolm X died a year before, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
At 39. Even Martin Luther King, he was 39.
Right.
They both died at 39. And you're like, wow. And you figure, now look at Martin. As popular as he became, he did all of that in like 12 years.
Right.
In like 12 years.
You would think he lived a lifetime.
You would have thought. You're right. He lived a life. He was 100 years old when he died, and for half of that time he was on Earth, he was marching and did it. That was like all of a decade.
Right.
A decade. But he was shaking that tree, the right tree. With someone will say the wrong tree, but he was shaking the right tree. So that's what happens. You instantly get pushed up there, man. You're instantly gonna get pusched up there. Same thing with Malcolm. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and for us, it's about, like I think we touched on it before when I said that, black folks ain't so much suffering from unemployment. It's joblessness. Who won't hire them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if my children can't get they not unemployed. Their daddy ain't never owned no business. Their mom ain't owned no business. So who gonna put them to work? Who gonna put them to work? You keep expecting that because you got this piece of paper where white folks gave you that the white man got a job for your black ass kids, and he don't. He barely got a job for himself. So they're not suffering from. They make it see when you talk that unemployment talk, people make it sound like black people not looking for jobs or black people don't want to work. No, black people are looking for jobs. Black people want to work. Shit, we ain't never done nothing but work since for 460 years in this country.
And
you know what I'm saying? Even back before that, with the Folsom people, 16,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? We built everything, so we love to build and work. But okay, when a system is built over top of us, it won't allow us to be that no more because we won't work for free. Where I'm gonna get a job at?
Right. So let me talk about Malcolm for a second, just for a second.
Right.
One of in one of his speeches, he said, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I know I'm going to mess it up, so I don't want to quote word for word. But he said the police own the media, right?
Mm-hmm.
The police own the media, and because of that, they basically own the the way that the white world will view the black world,
Right.
and the black neighborhoods will become a police state, right?
Right.
I think today, as I agree with what he said, and I thought, and we've talked about before how when I worked in the news, how the news, your local news, finds stories of how are they there so fast at these crime stories and all like that. I know how that works. I feel like today it might be the other way around, where the media own the police. I mean, the way of getting a news story has not changed, but I think it's kind of flipped a little bit, whereas the media kind of owns the police, because now the media is putting the image out there, and I'm not just talking about news media. I'm talking about Hollywood. I'm talking about everything that we consume is putting the image out there of black folks as being either lazy, on drugs, or thugs, gangbangers, or whatever like that, when that is a minority of our people.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're going to talk about that, who ain't on drugs? White people
exactly.
do heroin.
That's where I was
crack
going.
Too.
That's where I was going.
You know what I'm saying? Heroin and crack too.
So let me get to that, because if I'll remind you of what I was talking about with the news.
Mm-hmm.
With the news, when I remember working at a local news station, they had a desk, right? Assignment desk, whatever the case may be. They had police scanners. They would also call police departments. Now, this is how the police owns the media. If I call the police department in your neighborhood, right, wherever you live, the police can decide whether or not they want to tell me what's going on. I call them, I say, hey, you got anything going on tonight? They can say, no, I have nothing going on. But there really could be something going on. If I call Downingtown's police department, they may not want their neighborhood seen in a negative light, so they may not say anything. But if I call the 14th district or whatever district in Philadelphia, you know what I'm saying, and there's something going on, they'll say, they might say, yeah, well, we got this, that, and the third going on. Come on out.
But so now, see, a thinking man, once you say all you just said, a thinking man now knows that racism is a team sport.
Absolutely.
Because they don't have to personally, try to block the story from coming out. Their white brothers and sisters that own the media is going to block it, because that's not what they want as a whole for them. You know what I'm saying? So media is important, because what is media? Media gives people a reference to your people. Mm-hmm. That's their only reference.
Right.
So Black life is what they see in the newspaper, what they see on television, and what they hear on the radio. You know what I'm saying? It's 2020. All our neighborhoods, America is still heavily segregated. Blacks live over there with blacks, whites live over there with whites, Asians live over there with Asians, Hispanics live with Hispanics. They're still heavily segregated. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like Malcolm X said, if you want to see some real segregation, check out Sunday at noon. Black church is over there, white church is over there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? How we both believe in Jesus, but I ain't in church with you, though, trying to hear about your version of Jesus. I want to hear about my version, which enslaves your version, and which kicks your version's ass every single day.
And let me say something real quick, just real quick. It's not off topic, but it's a little bit different. I just read a lesson in the Bible on social justice. If people don't know, there are passages in the Bible that talk about social justices and social injustices. Okay, so if you want to check that out. Hit me up. Let me know what you if you're interested. But I was talking to my wife, and she said, she was like, the Bible talks about injustices. So it's or social injustice. So any pastor that does not want to talk about injustice going on is not a pastor that I want to listen to.
Absolutely not.
Because the Bible does not discriminate from black, white, anything like that. So why wouldn't I go to a white church and hear about the same injustices going on that I would maybe at a black church? So if you're not talking about those injustices as a pastor, I don't want to listen to it.
You can't expect white people to talk about it. Asians ain't gonna talk about what you're going through.
But if it's in their community, they're
like
going to hear about it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna hear about it. And like I said, media. This is why media in the Bible. That's media. Media is so important. What you're reading, what you watching, what you hearing. That's media. So what happens to a white policeman that never ever spent time with a black person or lived near a black person ever in their life? The only reference to what they think I am, which TV, music, newspapers all call me a thug, and they say I'm a killer and I'm a rapist. I want to rape the girl. I want to steal your money. Okay, so now that he's got a pistol on him and he wants to pull me over, he's already nervous. He's already scared because media has told him to be scared of me. Even though in reality, I am the one that's afraid because I see how you murder people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
In reality of this scenario, I am the more afraid one than the police officer.
And that could be another.
And
that could be another. If you think about it, could be another control. Because now, what's the media showing us a lot of police shooting unarmed black people.
The more y'all repost black men getting their head blown off, the more black people get afraid and get scared.
Absolutely.
Y'all barely post black people in powerful positions doing powerful things and taking their power back and fighting back. People almost never post that. But as soon as a black man get beat upside his head, y'all want to go post that, and with no remedies, no nothing, just to show another black man getting beat up. So if my children is watching this, they automatically get in their head that what their place is in this world, their place is to be beat on.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. This all what programming is.
Mm-hmm.
This all programs of people. You know what I'm saying? So when you travel back, we never been debriefed after slavery. We never had no counseling. We never been debriefed. We just had to all right, let them go. No money, no food, no cars, no house, no nothing. Just let them go figure it out. There's trauma. So if that's passed down to us, something else got passed down to white people to feel so superior or so up here. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So all that gets passed down too. You feel me? But somebody has to break that and pass down the healing and pass down the ownership and pass down all the good things. We get off black people. We take up our fair share of everything negative in this world. Like I said, if it's heart disease, it's diabetes, it's cancer, we get our fair share of anything negative, and we get nothing that's worth having, nothing positive. We number one in every negative category you can speak of. But anything positive, you think I'm lying? Don't believe me. Just go ahead and do your own. Nothing that's worth it. How much land we own in America? At the bottom. How much resources we own in the world? At the bottom. How much wealth we got? At the bottom. Now, let's go to the negative stuff. How many niggas got prostate cancer? We 90%. How many women got black women got 90%. Thyroid cancer, chronic heart, diabetes, blood pressure. Number one. Median household income at the bottom.
Sad.
At the bottom.
It's sad. It's very sad. And it takes us to grab our bootstraps and really lift ourselves up and really make a change in that. We can't expect other people. We can't expect the government. We can't expect anybody to make that change. We got to make that change within ourselves first.
The government, it wasn't built for you. You think Europeans, pilgrims traveled 3-4 months across the water to build something for you? No. No, he didn't. That's why they call colonies. They got 13 colonies, and 13 is a lucky number. That's why I take 13th floor off a hotel floor. You might accidentally walk on that floor and bankrupt the casino. That's why they don't have it up there. They make you think it's bad luck. They know it's good luck. That's why they got 13 colonies.
Think about that.
All right, they didn't. You think that they came all the way this way, did all that raping, pillaging, and murdering to build your black ass something? You got to be out your mind. You got to be out your mind, boy. They didn't write that Constitution trying to protect you. They wrote that Constitution to protect them. The Constitution is white affirmative action.
Right.
Against the Indians, against the people that was here. To say, we going to be here. We the colonials. We the pilgrims. First they called pilgrims, then they changed it to colonialism. But this is us, and this is where we going to be. We taping this off. Y'all can't mess with us. We got a Constitution. We going to sign it. Y'all going to sign it. They ain't writing nothing. They ain't drawing nothing up for you. You ain't their people. You ain't their people. That's like you putting somebody else's children in your will.
Nope, ain't gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen.
All right, that's their will that they passing down. You ain't nothing on that Constitution but 3/5 a man, which is equivalent to a farm animal or a tool. It's two constitutions. People don't know that. It's two. The first one was life, living, happiness. Then they had to go back and say, life and property. Then they had to go back and say, that don't sound right because we know who the property is.
Mm.
The black people. That's
a lot
our
of people
property.
don't know
we
that.
own them.
A lot of people don't know
then
that.
They had to go back and change it to happiness. But don't nobody in their right mind travel 4 months on the ocean, possibly lose their life looking for no damn happiness or somewhere to pray.
Right.
Nobody looking for nowhere to practice no religion. You can practice it right where you stand. They came here for gain. And when they got on them boats, they told them white peasants, y'all can come to the new land, but you got to work for it.
They came
you
here,
work 7 years,
to
indentured
escape
servants.
Oppression and created
That's
their
right.
own oppression.
That's right. Escape oppression. And know that anytime immigrants cross any line, they bring diseases with them. New people bring new diseases. All right. So when you black people was here and nobody else was here, we didn't have no diseases. We already dealt with them thousands of years ago and got rid of them. But when white people came, they brought diseases with them. Anytime, like now, you got your little COVID, AIDS. Anytime new people come, they bring new diseases. Stuff that you done dealt with 1,000 years ago, now you got to deal with it again, but you ain't prepared because you ain't dealt with it in so long. You ain't dealt with it in so long. You know what I'm saying? So what was Europe? Disease, famine, poverty, crime, that oppression. They said, okay, we're going to put all this on some other people and make them oppressed, make them crime, make them disease, make them famine. We ain't going to be it no more. And they willing to die about it. Give me liberty or give me death. And then what George Washington said, all right, they fought their own people to be free. He fought he fought his own people to be free. It wasn't fighting black people or the Asians or Arabs. They was fighting themselves. Civil War, they fighting themselves. They was tearing the country up.
Yeah.
Tearing the country up because Southerners wanted to just burn it down if they couldn't have no slaves. What do you mean?
And a lot of people don't know is the Civil War was over economics. It wasn't over slavery. It was over economics. And it was because the southern states were exploding economically because they had slaves.
That's right.
They garnered the majority of the slaves, so they were able to grow economically. And
that's right.
The North, I guess, basically was hating. Let's put it in layman's terms. The North wasn't having it, and so now, they wanted to share the wealth. And
imagine you go to you live out Yale, and then you just one day you go out West Philly, and you see this new land. Ain't many people here. Some people here, and then you like, man, damn, we could build here. We got some resources. And then we can use these black folks right here as some labor to help build. And now this for you, Christopher Columbus. You report back to your people back in Europe. Hey, here's some land here. We can use black folks as slaves. They're gonna be the labor. They're gonna build. Everybody coming. Everybody. This the new block right here. This block pumping.
Right.
This block pumping. And because ain't nothing where we came from. Where we at now is poverty, oppressed, disease. Ain't no food. Ain't no. So we're gonna go over there and try our hand. But we such a loving people. We loved ourselves into this hole with them.
And it's like Dr. King has said prior to his of course it was prior to his assassination. Didn't say it afterwards. He was afraid that he led his people into a burning building.
Absolutely.
He understood. He knew what he was fighting for was worth fighting for, but he understood that the message might have been consumed in a way that he wasn't expecting it to be consumed.
Yeah.
And the message he wanted consumed was more so on the lines of what Malcolm wanted consumed was putting out there.
Yeah. I mean, because you gotta look far down the road, further down the road. You know what I'm saying? They didn't look further down the road with the civil rights movement. They wasn't looking far enough. So you gotta talk about redistribution instead of integration. Integration ain't the most important. That's not going to lift us up out the hole. I mean, imagine if I robbed you, I take all your stuff out your house, I take everything from you, and then you'd saying, hey, this guy took all my stuff and I want my stuff back. And then somebody say, well, I'm just saying, just give him the opportunity to come over to your house and eat every now and then. To sit with you on your porch and eat every night. That's not going to help get you, back set straight off of everything that I took from you. Somebody had to say, wait a minute, you need to give him back his stuff that you took. You need to give it back.
Now, you know what I wonder, Sean? I wonder, just as you're saying that, right? Let's think about, let's put ourselves back in 50s, 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Let's take that 30-year period, right? Going up into the civil rights movement, right? You had blacks only, whites only, right? You had if whites didn't want to serve blacks, they did not have to. Right, we never hear if blacks didn't want to serve whites. They I don't know if that was the case or not. But if whites didn't want to serve blacks, they didn't have to. Okay. Now, civil rights movement comes, the desegregation comes. Now it's by law they cannot refuse service to you by law. Now, if before it was law that they could. Now they got the law changed. I wonder, and you and I, we didn't live then, but I wonder what was so infatuating about the white establishments that were white only, that black folks wanted to run and spend their money at these places because they couldn't do. I guess it's you want what you can't have. Like,
white ice
is big
colder.
Deal, I guess.
White ice is colder in our minds. White ice is colder. So if you got some black people trying to hype you up on these white folks, then what you think they're going to do? If they making them seem like they so pristine and they just something to be next to and coalesce with, and they trusting you and your guidance of the situation, not knowing that you're not looking further enough down the road, then it's like the blind leading the blind. Blind leading the blind.
And it's crazy.
Now, not saying that, that was purposely done or not. We don't know. But somebody should have came and said, wait. This ain't going to cut it. This ain't going to cut it. Why am I so pressed to go to school with him? Why do I want to, just a week ago, I couldn't eat there, and now I feel safe trying to eat there? They're going to spit in my food.
Right.
That don't change how they feel about you just because somebody made a law.
Right.
That don't change the disgust they have for you.
If anything, it made it worse, the feeling, because now they're forced to deal with it.
What type of fool would go in there and eat now? Just last week, they had a sign up said, "We don't like you niggas. You better not come in here." And now, because now they extra angry that somebody went and got some legislation done, and now they gotta feed you. Now they kicking your food all around on the floor, coughing on it, spitting on it, giving you their diseases. And you going, what type of food gonna go in there? I don't want to go in there and eat. I don't want to eat nowhere where somebody don't want me in there, and then somebody gotta force them to let me in there. I don't even want to go in there. I don't want to go in there.
Right.
I don't want to force myself upon nobody. That's when bad things happen. Like where we at right now, bad things happened. Nothing good happened for us. Everything good happened for them because it just gave them access to our money. That's all integration did. We didn't get better jobs, better educated. We didn't get anything better.
Here's where integration got messed up. We started spending our money with them. They didn't start spending their money with us.
That's right. We had our own hotels. Now we want to go to their hotels. What happened? Our hotels closed.
Right.
We had our own schools. We want to go to schools with them. What happened? Our schools are closed. We want to. We don't want to go. We want to go to their restaurants. We had our own restaurants. What happened? We had our own movie theaters. What happened? That's all that happened. It gave them access to our money. That's why they said, okay, this is good for us. This is going to be bad for y'all. Integration doesn't make things stronger. Integration makes things weaker. There's nowhere on the planet where integrating something made it a better thing. It makes it a horrible thing. Black coffee is very strong. When you put cream in it, to make it what? Weaker.
You make it weaker.
You integrate the coffee to make it weaker. You don't integrate it to make it stronger. It's a weak version. It's a weak version of what it was.
Let me give my example of something.
Same thing with fruits and vegetables. The carrot, it's integrated. It's a hybrid. It's a wild yam and something else put together, which now makes it a weaker vegetable. You should just ate the wild yam, which was the strongest version. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nowhere if I'm lying, I'm flying. Prove me wrong. Nowhere integrating anything makes anything stronger. You make it weaker when you mix it up. Make it weaker, man.
So
that's why you put what? Soda in your vodka. So you can, you know what I'm saying? You put when you mix them, you integrate something together. Okay. It's very simple, man. Now, personally, like I said, I don't care. I don't care where black people want to be integrated, segregated. That ain't my ball game. I don't care where you want to be. That's your prerogative. You want to be in their neighborhoods, go to their schools and get you a cap and gown from them and thank you somebody. I do not care. And I don't care if you want to be totally away from them. Never coalesce with them again. I don't care. What I care about is no matter where you fall at on that line, that black people got a blanket that covers them.
Right.
Just in case they start to wild out, we cool. Like they always wild out. They ain't never stop wilding out.
There you go. There you go. I actually had something, and I lost my train of thought. I had something that I wanted to talk about, something else I wanted to talk about today, but we're going to save that for another show because I'm going to have to remember. I'm going to have to remember. I forgot. Like I had it, and I was like, I need to write it down, but I had nothing to write it on in front of me. I got a pen with no paper. But I could. But
it's very simple to why our problems have never been answered. Our problems have never been solved. I mean, we're working on the education that they want to give us. It's not it's not the proper education that we need to fix the problems that we must solve. It's only the education to fix their problems and keep building for them. A black child, an African child cannot be a strong black child, a strong African child working off a Eurocentric education. How does that work?
Can't be strong within your own your roots. Within your own roots.
Okay. How does that work? You can't do that.
Each generation, our roots get weaker and weaker.
Weaker and weaker.
It's probably a bad way of saying it. Our roots get weaker. Our roots are always going to be strong. It's the strongest part of the plant is the roots, but the taller the plant grows, the top of the plant is the weakest part of the plant.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And the further we get from our roots, the weaker we're going to be.
Right. I looked at a clip earlier from I can't remember who clip it was. It might have been Amos Wilson. And he was saying, you know, it's interesting that to a black person, the average African American, freedom to them is being able to go to school with white people, being able to spend money with white people, being able to sleep with white people. To them, that spells like, oh, I'm free because I can do things with white people. You know what I mean? It always like supports whiteness. Black freedom supports whiteness. But white people don't feel like their freedoms are being infringed upon because they can't go to school with you. Or they can't support your business. You understand what I'm saying? They don't feel like, oh, they're not free because you won't allow me to give all my money to a black person. You won't allow me to live in a black neighborhood. None of them want to live around you anyway. If they live around you, they stuck there. Not by choice that they want to live there with you. They ain't got shit. They piss poor too. Is why they there.
It's like Chris Rock.
If they could move, they'd move.
Chris Rock said there's not a white person. He was at the comedy show doing a show, and he said there's not a white person in that crowd that would trade their life for his. And he's rich.
Chris Rock telling the truth.
And he's rich.
There's not a poor white man in America that would trade places with Chris Rock. And Chris Rock got all the money in the world.
Yeah. So you reminded me, and I want to get ready to close it out, but you reminded me of something, not what I wanted to talk about, but you reminded me of something that actually my wife and I were talking about. I don't remember if it was before or after we got married. She was reading something. She's always reading something. And I don't mean that in a bad way, baby, if you're listening. She's always reading something. And she asked me, she said, you know, would you consider yourself successful? And I said, I think this was after we got married. And I said, no, not yet. I said, I'm working on success. I'm working to be successful. And then she asked me to define success. My definition of success, I told her what was on my mind. And she told me that what she was reading, white people, a majority of white people define success as getting married, having a family, and stuff like that. And that didn't make any sense to me, because you can get married is easy. Like, that's easy. Like, staying married is a success, but getting married does not equal success. Having kids, there's plenty of people out there that have kids. That I don't feel like that makes you successful. That I think having, working to maintain your family's health, happiness, and being able to do that, I think that is successful. Like, success for me was establishing a radio station, getting shows on the radio station, stuff like that to be able to maintain my family. Is that like maintaining a family was more so success for me, where what she was reading, that the fact that the people were even just getting married, the white people was getting married, they found that as success. And I could not, I still, to this day, I don't understand. Like, that's not success to me, because that's easy.
You know, what we measure, how are we measuring success, and whose value system are we using? We keep using Eurocentric value systems for everything, for our own relationships. That's why they fail. We're not using black values. We're not using we're using white people's. We're using Eurocentric values, and in the Eurocentric value system, I don't measure up. I can never, because it's Eurocentric. So if I keep using that to measure my woman, we're going to fall out. If she keeps using that to measure me, we're going to fall out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Eurocentric value system say a man is supposed to provide, protect, provide. But boy, you made that up while I was in slavery. If I'm a slave, I can't provide because I work for free. If I'm a slave, I can't protect because you rape my wife 3 times a week. So they make these rules up that fit what they're doing at the time, which they own. They raped and pillaged. They got everything, and then they write the rules. You ain't a man if you got no land. Well, you stole my land. I guess I ain't a man. You ain't a man if you can't provide for your wife. Well, you stole all my resources, so I guess I can't provide now. I can't. You understand what I'm saying? So what do we keep measuring our relationships by? Eurocentric values, which don't work for us. That's why most of our relationships ain't shit. That they fall apart, because guess what? In the white man's world, is about owning, controlling everything, which he already did centuries ago, and having all the money, which you already got. And then he look at you and say, oh, you ain't got no money. You should kick that man out because he ain't provide money for your kids. And then that's all you measure him by, which means nothing else he does is worth it. He can't do nothing else in his house. He ain't bringing no money in here. Then that's it. He's done. He's done. He's done. He's done. So if I'm a slave, I can't do none of these rules, none of these things you laid out, none of these values laid out. I'm a damn slave. And my children are slaves.
Continue to, they wanted the slave to feel like they were nothing, less than nothing. They were unsuccessful. They couldn't provide.
You nothing.
Actually, if you think about it further, it from that mentality to in slavery, who was providing for the slaves? The master.
Slave master.
The slave
That's
master.
why he's the man. And the black man is forever the boy. Mm-hmm. That's why we call ourselves, what are we? That's my boy. We boys. We even say that. We boys in the hood. We're not men in the hood. We boys in the hood. Who that? Oh, that's my boy. 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 We boys, we boys, we boys. And then when a white man come around, we say, shh, there go the man. There's the man. Okay, this program all get, you know what I'm saying? You ain't nothing but a boy in this white man system. Shit, that's all he carved out for you. Boy, you dope boy, you a boy, you that's it. That's it. Even on TV, look at the roles. It's the same damn roles. From Power to Empire to everything is in disarray with our programming. We just running around like crazy maniacs. And we know that ain't the truth, man. That ain't the truth. That ain't the only thing we don't. You know what I'm saying?
Got to carve out.
You know what I'm saying? You can only play the role that they want you to play. Right now, even on TV, black man in jail. The biggest program, all our biggest programs on TV is the black man being some type of fact. He's either in jail or he's on his way to jail. Yeah, like Power. You know, it's like either he's already in jail, like for life, or he's on his way to jail, or dead, or. That's it. Then you switch to the white to the white program TV. They families together,
doctors.
Got it all. It's clean. It's pristine. It's right. Mm-hmm. Everybody's doing their thing. And even if you get a black family that's like almost like that programming, what do they call it? They call it black-ish. You kind of black because you got a little education. Your family is together. Because we know black people ain't together like that. So there you kind of black now. you almost white.
Yeah, so you say black-ish. Let me real quick because I want to wrap this up. So at that time when Blackish came out, there was the Blackish. There was a show about Asians called Fresh Off the Boat, and there was one other show. I can't remember what it was. There was one other show that had cultural, racial undertone title to it. I forgot what the other one was, but I found that very interesting that the networks even allowed that to happen. Like if you go to an Asian or Puerto Rican or somebody else and say yeah they fresh off the boat, like people say that, but it's very close to offensive.
Right.
Very close to offensive. And the funny thing about hold on, Sean. The funny thing about that show, Fresh Off the Boat, it was really about. I actually liked this. The show was pretty cool because it was about kids in the '90s that were. He was about the same age I was around the same time. He was talking about certain things. Anyway, it was Fresh Off the Boat, and the kid was born in the United States. The family's from like Orlando, and moved to DC, or from DC and moved to Orlando. One of the two. And I don't even think the parents. I think the parents might have been born in like Asia, but they came over as kids. Like the grandmother was from Asia. Like that. That's not fresh off the boat.
Right.
You've been here for a while.
The idea is programming.
What you over there eating, man? What you over there eating, man?
Oh, that was some spaghetti. You know what I'm saying? That's how they do it, though. Trick your mind up. I mean, when you look at BET now, in bold writing, it says 40 years of black. I mean, you think you only been black for 40 years, nothing beyond that.
Crazy thing is, BET isn't owned by black folks no more.
It's owned by black people. I just don't like that. And black people, okay, black people don't make decisions. How many holidays you celebrate that you celebrate on your own that didn't get introduced to you by white people? White people didn't introduce you to this. I mean, how many holidays on that calendar?
On the calendar? None.
All right. Okay, your Thanksgiving, your Christmas, your New Year's, your 4th of July, your Labor Day, your Memorial Day. It's all okay. They make decisions on the calendar. They can take your days away from you if they want you to. Next week they say ain't no more Sunday.
Right.
It's Monday through Saturday. They own that. They own the calendar. If you see a black person with a holiday on there, white people made that decision to put them there as another trick to make you think you made some type of progress because they gave a nigga a day.
No, they don't. They decided to put start of Kwanzaa on the calendar.
Okay,
it took a long time. It wasn't on there when we were kids.
Right, right. But then, you know what I'm saying. But we don't celebrate it. We celebrate. We go in on the ones that white people tell us to go in on. Because if we went on what we wanted to go in on, like today, Malcolm X Day, we'd be out in the street party, we'd be doing our thing, we'd be having a ball, but we don't.
Malcolm X Park.
All right.
Hopefully,
and guess what?
But we can't go out.
We can't go out. But guess what? Even if we could, it wouldn't be as bomb if it was for the July 4th joint.
Right.
For the Memorial joint, for the Labor Day, you know what I'm saying? For Christmas party, it wouldn't be as bomb as that. Right. As the one the white people want. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of Malcolm X Park, the white folks finna change the name, right?
No. Are they
really?
They
about to change. Yeah, it's going to be called Columbus Park.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Absolutely. I'm serious.
Wow.
That's what gentrification does. Talking about where immigration does, bring new diseases, gentrification, bring bullshit with it. And once they gentrify, they privatize. And that park could be private. And your black ass won't be allowed in it. It'll be private. You can't go in there. You need a membership to enter that park.
That hurts, man. That really hurts. Because I think about when I think about Malcolm X, right? I think about how he really was not accepted by white folks. That's why like King was accepted by white folks after the fact.
Yeah,
Malcolm X still is not necessarily accepted because but if you think about the different messages, as I stated earlier, they both wanted the same thing. They went about it in a different way. But King's message got taken to a whole nother level where Malcolm's message would have been just right. We think. Because
King's made you docile.
Right.
Malcolm's made you think, made you stronger.
Exactly.
Again, we go back to that black coffee. Malcolm wanted black coffee, no cream.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm said, give me a little cream. White people, that's why they said, oh, we can give him a holiday and put him on McDonald's commercial. They ain't never going to put Malcolm X on no goddamn somebody's commercial.
No. But when I think, but to go back to what I was saying, and then to find out that they had a Malcolm X Park, having Malcolm X Park here in West Philadelphia.
Yeah. But what use will white people have for Malcolm X Park?
Exactly.
They don't want white children to walk by and read that. If we're going to gentrify and this is going to be white now, everything has to be white.
Mm-hmm.
What use is a white person holding think about a white person walking down the street holding their little 3-year-old baby, 6-year-old baby's hand, and the baby say, "What is Malcolm X?" Then you got to explain that shit.
So you about to make me mad, Sean, because we're about to end the show. But you know how I get when I get mad on the show. So
right.
so I'm thinking about that, right? So let's say, okay, Philadelphia, West Philly gets completely gentrified, right? Let's look into the future and just say it's completely gentrified, but they don't change the name of that park. Let's say it's still Malcolm X Park. Now you got the 5-year-old. Let's say the 5-year-old white girl walking with her mother, saying, "Mommy, what's Malcolm X? Who's Malcolm X?" Now this woman has to explain who Malcolm X is. I don't know how she's going to explain it, whether she explains him as a hero or villain. But okay, so
she can't explain it either because she don't know.
But hold on, hear me out. They're going to change it so they don't have to do that.
That's right. Change it so I won't have to encounter
But yet you got in the South, even here in the North, you got these statues of these soldiers, Confederate soldiers, in the middle of the neighborhood, people that wanted to keep black folks enslaved.
That's right.
And they're garnered as heroes.
That's right. That's right. You know why?
I'm not going to get mad today.
You know why? No. Don't get mad. Don't get mad.
I'll just go off on a tangent.
One thing you got to master is being able to hear the truth without no bitterness.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get mad. It is what it is. But you know why? White people always honor their ancestors, no matter if they were psychopaths or not, murderers, pedophiles. They always honor their ancestors. That's why they got it. That's why we got statues of Thomas Jefferson everywhere in America, George Washington everywhere in America. Okay, the problem is black people never honor their ancestors. We never even talk about them. Never even talk. Today is Malcolm X's birthday. How many? You barely see Malcolm X anywhere on your Instagram or anywhere, but you see black people talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine, a little white boy. You hear black people talking about everything. Okay, we don't. That's our problem. We don't honor our ancestors. We can't get mad. They always honor their ancestors. They even put a statue up of a psychopath. They even name a street Columbus Boulevard. He's a psychopath, slave trading, pedophile murderer. He's got a whole street named after him that ain't fitting to change.
They got the whole. I don't know if you call that a statue or a monument or whatever. The Columbus Monument down there by the Hyatt or whatever hotel that is down there.
Yeah, right there in Spruce Street Harbor. Yeah. Okay. And they explained him on there as a navigator. And he wasn't none of that. The boy got lost. That's how he wound up in America. Wasn't no damn navigator. And that's why he called.
No, he was a navigator. He just wasn't good at it. He wasn't a good one.
You know what I'm saying? It's like me saying that he was a ball player. He ain't never scored a point. Ain't no ball. He ain't. Yeah, I know, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? But they boldly put that up there. Like, you can't find out the truth, but you don't know it. But they don't care, and they shouldn't. They should. Because we ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Let's end it right there. we coming up on an hour. Let's end it right there because we gotta have some more ammo to give them next week, man. We gotta have some more ammo to give them next week. So before we go, of course I want you to shout out the restaurant again, but I want to talk to you to something before we get off this call. But go ahead, shout out the restaurant real quick.
Oh yeah, 401 Fayette Street. That's Go Vegan Philly. You can Google it. Now. Go Vegan Philly. Easy to find on the corner of 4th and Fayette in Conshohocken, PA. Every Friday and Saturday for now. We used to be open Wednesday through Saturday, but after the shutdown, we just held it to Friday and Saturday. And I believe in June they're going to open things back up. So we'll be back to our 4-day schedule really, really soon. But the number to call is 610-828-8900. For takeout every Friday and Saturday from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
There you have it. Look, we want to thank you for listening to yet another episode of Let's Not Argue with myself and the owner of Go Vegan Philly, Mr. Sean Thomas. I want to say happy birthday to Malcolm X and celebrate Malcolm X and don't let him change the name of the park. All right, I know there's some people talking about the park. I didn't catch that part of the conversation because I was late to the conversation. I'm mad that they had to say it because it was just 2 days ago. Anyway, I mean, Like you said,
Right,
I got to be able to not have the bitterness. You know, I gotta chill. Man. I gotta relax.
You gotta be able to hear the truth, man, without no bitterness,
Absolutely.
man. You got this art, this thing you got to master, though.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because once the bitterness settles in, then we lose focus on things, and we might miss something.
Absolutely right. When we become vulnerable. When you get angry, you get vulnerable. When you become vulnerable, you start to mess up. So with that being said, I want to thank you.
We always leave them with the last thought, right?
Absolutely. And then there you have it. So next year, check out Let's Not Argue on all the platforms: Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all that good stuff. But definitely check it out on New Twist Radio, newtwistradio.com, and the New Twist Radio app. And for Sean Thomas and myself, we are out of here. We'll talk to y'all next time. Peace.